Hey everyone, I'm Richard, this is Grey Wizard Gaming, and today we are talking about the Masks of Nyarlathotep for Cthulhu Wars. So stick around also, because at the end of the video I'm going to tell you how to participate in the giveaway. So definitely stick around for that. I'm doing a big giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. All right, back to the game. So Masks of Nyarlathotep, this name, Masks of Nyarlathotep, is important itself because I think one of the most popular campaigns for the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game was Masks of Nyarlathotep. The campaign takes usually well over a year to play through, and you go really deep into this thing. And since Sandy was a writer on the original Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, I don't know if the writer, just a writer, one of the writers, I don't know. But his name's on the book, so I think it's fair to say that you can wrap this all together as something that is pretty meaningful to the Cthulhu Mythos board game stuff, role-playing game, board game, tabletop. Let's talk about the new cultist. Now, I actually don't really know if I feel like it's type cultist. There's actually a little bit of a typo or misprint in the original box. Mine says terrors on the back, but I'm pretty sure it's just a cultist, because there are these weird monsters that replace a cultist generally. So the way it works is, in the Doom phase, when it is your turn to perform a ritual of annihilation, you may pay 2 Doom to obtain this loyalty card, and then place the Dark Demon matching your faction's color anywhere on the map. If you wish, you can then proceed to do a ritual of annihilation. Each of the other factions permanently lose an acolyte from their pools or from the map if all are in play, and then adds to their pools a Dark Demon of their faction's color. So they give you a bunch of different Dark Demons, one for each color. There's 9 of them. I think that's pretty cool. A little bit worried about more factions, but I'm sure it'll be taken care of somehow. Crawling Chaos has a special ability, right? Crawling Chaos's great old one is Nyarlathotep. So he gets a little bit different advantage than any of the other factions. If Crawling Chaos is the one to obtain the loyalty card, the card's cost is now 0 Doom. So everybody else has to pay 2 Doom. Crawling Chaos only has to pay 0 Doom. But when the other factions permanently lose their acolytes, everybody else gains 1 Elder Sign. So do the math. Either you're a normal faction and you pay 2 Doom, or you're Nyarlathotep and you give everyone else an Elder Sign worth an average of 1.5 Doom. It's actually very close to the same, whether you are Crawling Chaos or not. It's just a little bit different, and I like that flavor, just personally. All right, so the summons. Ongoing, any faction with a Dark Demon in its pool cannot take any action other than recruiting the Dark Demon. You can still choose to drop your power to 0 and take no more actions this action phase instead. Metamorph. Dark Demons are a new type of cultist and are treated as cultists in every way, but they produce 0 power during the gather power phase. They are recruited rather than summoned, so a controlled gate is not needed. Dark Demons may create and control gates, and they are worth 1 power when captured. They can be targeted by any spellbook or ability that references cultists, but not acolytes. So the important bits here is that the owner of this card, they start with their Dark Demon out. Their Dark Demon is just a cultist, just basically like any other cultist, except it generates 0 power. Everybody else has no choice but to take an action to summon the Dark Demon they received. Because as long as the Dark Demon is in their pool, which everybody got a Dark Demon, as long as it's in their pool, they have to spend their next action to summon it. I think this can feel very, very unfair to everybody but the person who summons them. So you'd always want to make sure that you're the one to summon it. It will continue to be a little bit of an annoyance because when somebody succeeds in killing a dark demon, then that player now has to shift their plans. And I don't know if you're like me with Cthulhu Wars, but I have the next 3 or 4 actions in my head. And I have like, okay, what if they do this and what if they do that? Man, if I suddenly had to change what I'm doing to spend a power to summon a dark demon, I would be very frustrated. But it's cool. I think it's very neat. And you do end up with more cultists who can control more gates. So it's not an all lose scenario. Well, everybody else it's bad. But for the main person, they end up with 7 cultists. So that's kind of cool. All right. The Shadow Pharaoh. So the Shadow Pharaoh refers to Nyarlathotep has this sort of Egyptian background in one of his references. So I think that's pretty cool. It's a very cool sculpt. It's kind of a mummy sphinx. That's what I look at it. You could think of it as a centaur, but I just feel I feel like I look at it and I think sphinx, maybe centaur sphinx, sphinx star. That sounds wrong. Let's not do that. All right. So the Shadow Pharaoh. To obtain this loyalty card, now this again has a misprint, but it is actually a terror. So just follow terror rules for the Shadow Pharaoh. In the Doom phase, when it is your turn to perform a ritual of annihilation, pay 2 Doom and 2 power to obtain this loyalty card. It's expensive. In my opinion, it's expensive. You place the Shadow Pharaoh at your controlled gate. If you wish, you may still perform a ritual. Crawling Chaos. In the Doom phase, when it is your turn to perform a ritual of annihilation, pay only 2 power to obtain this loyalty card. Then place the Shadow Pharaoh at one of your controlled gates. If you wish, you may still perform a ritual. Each other faction gains 1 Elder Sign. So again, whether anybody else has to pay 2 Doom, or Nyarlathotep gives everybody else a 1.5 Doom advantage because an Elder Sign is worth between 1 and 3 points. So Doom points. So, all right, that's great. It's a Combat 2 terror. What does that mean? Well, what's important here is the ongoing ability of hebephrenia. Hebephrenia is kind of like schizophrenia, like a disordered mind, I think confused, not able to focus. And what it is it's an ongoing ability. Gates may not be controlled by any faction in the Shadow Pharaoh's area. When the Shadow Pharaoh enters an area, any accompanying unit immediately abandons the gate. Yog-Sothoth is unaffected. So the Shadow Pharaoh, let's say that Cthulhu summons him. Okay, great. Except because he entered the area, immediately his own cultist gets pushed off the gate and nobody can control a gate as long as he's there. So if you time it badly, then you're in a bad place because now you can't summon anything else with that gate. Also, if you don't have enough power to move it out of your gate, then you're having a bad time because you just lost power. So don't do that. Make sure that when you summon Shadow Pharaoh, that you can move it somewhere else. So, right, it's out, you move it somewhere else. You push them out off their gate. Of course, you immediately retake your gate as soon as Shadow Pharaoh leaves. And there you go. I think it's really ideal if you really want to control a gate and you don't want combat or something like that. Also, I think if you look at some of the certain maps, like the library, I think it could be advantageous to be able to just move in and push people off their gate. So pretty cool. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the Bloated Woman. So pretty creepy, foul, disgusting sculpt. This sculpt is not right. It's more not right than most, but she is kind of pretty with her little fan. So it's not all is lost. All right, the Bloated Woman. So she is a independent Great Old One. How to awaken her. Your controlled gate is in an area with your Great Old One. Pay 4 power and place the Bloated Woman in the area controlling the gate. Crawling Chaos. Pay 3 power, then place the Bloated Woman at one of your controlled gates. Then each other faction receives 1 Elder Sign. Crawling Chaos does not need a Great Old One in the area into which he awakens the Bloated Woman. It's a Combat 1 independent Great Old One. Probably one of the weaker independent Great Old Ones in the game. But what does she have? The Velvet Fan. See, it's pretty. Post-battle. After any battle involving the Bloated Woman, choose 1 killed or eliminated enemy monster or cultist and place it on this card. That unit is considered to be out of play. If a unit is later recruited or summoned from this card, its owner pays its power cost directly to you. Units remain on this card if the Bloated Woman is killed or eliminated. They may still be recruited or summoned from this card, but no one will be paid power for this while she is out of play. If she is later returned to play, her controller will receive payments as described above. There is no limit to the number of units you may have on this card. Okay, so in case that wasn't clear, she's involved in a battle and a bunch of units die. So you choose one of those units, I don't know, let's just say this one. And now, when Cthulhu decides that Cthulhu wants to resummon that star spawn, then when he pays that cost, 3 power, that 3 power goes to the controller, Nyarlathotep, Crawling Chaos, whatever. So that, I think that is huge. I mean, that is very, very interesting. I think that receiving the power for these units that they're going to want to resummon, nothing stops them from resummoning. Nothing really hurts the person that you got into combat, right? You got into combat with Cthulhu. Cthulhu lost a unit. Cthulhu is buying a unit for normal price, no effect. But the fact that now maybe Crawling Chaos or Black Goat, whoever has control of the Bloated Woman, is going to receive that power, that's going to make Cthulhu think twice. And it's going to make him think, I need to kill Bloated Woman so that I can summon my things without paying somebody. So huge, interesting effect. I really love it. Now, what is her spellbook? You have to get all 6 faction spellbooks to put it out. What does it do? It's called Disaster Looms. This is in the Gather Power phase. Your controlled gates now earn 1 Elder Sign instead of 2 power. They still earn 1 Doom during the Doom phase. This is crazy. I think it's crazy. You're gonna default to half the power, right? Because you're still getting power from cultists plus nothing, most likely. Depending on what faction you are, you may have some extra power sources from somewhere, but you're likely to get a big pile of Elder Signs. And I don't think if you have 6 spell books and you have control of Bloated Woman, even 1 round, that you might have just won the game. 2 rounds, if you haven't won the game with 2 rounds of getting 1 Elder Sign instead of 2 power per gate, I think there's something really going weird in your game. Just, that's my thought. I'm pretty sure that you will almost always win if you have control of her for 2 rounds. Assuming that you haven't just been devastated by the rest of the players, right? The rest of the players could be like, we're not going to kill Bloated Woman. We're just going to take out all your gates. Maybe. I think it's incredible. I have not, my group has not agreed to play with Bloated Woman yet. We only play with a couple optional rules per game. So super cool though. I can't wait to bring her in. I think that's going to be super cool. All right, last unit, the big one, the Haunter of the Dark. Now, this, just like Masks of Nyarlathotep, has significance. The Haunter of the Dark, I think, is one of the more interesting, more important Lovecraft stories. So I just think that it's a great sculpt, looks cool, it's iconic. That's why I play Cthulhu Wars and not just random Risk board game or something, right? It's the monsters. So what does the Haunter of the Dark do? To awaken the Haunter of the Dark, your controlled gate is in an area with your Great Old One. Pay 6 power, place the Haunter of the Dark in the area containing the gate. Crawling Chaos, again, has an alternate effect. Pay 5 power, then place the Haunter of the Dark at one of your controlled gates. Each other faction then takes 1 Elder Sign. Crawling Chaos does not need a Great Old One. You already know my opinion on that. I don't know if that's cheaper for Crawling Chaos or not really, because 1 power isn't a fair equivalency. But if you don't have a Great Old One, or you want to put it somewhere else than where your Great Old One is, I think it can be to your advantage. But you just have to be smart and clever with it. All right. Its combat is equal to the total number of spellbooks earned by your enemy, including those for any independent Great Old Ones. So your enemy may have a independent Great Old One with a spellbook. Chances are that would be 7 combat. It's decent, right? It's a fairly powerful unit. All right. It also has a Fly the Light weakness. This is a post-battle effect. If the enemy scored exactly 1 kill, it must be applied to the Haunter. If he scored 2 or more kills, you can apply the kills normally. So that's just a flat weakness. Its combat is decent. Its weakness allows it to easily be killed. I don't know easily, but a higher chance of it being killed. Let's say that way. Now, to get its spellbook, as an action, pay 1 power, which means almost anybody will immediately get the spellbook on the following action. And what does it do? The Shining Trapezohedron? The Shining Trapezohedron. It's a pre-battle ability. This is what makes up for the Fly the Light. In a battle involving the Haunter, your enemy must roll a die for each of his units present in the battle. For every 6 rolled by your enemy, he must choose and eliminate 1 of his own units. Okay, so this is important, the order that these things happen. So it's a pre-battle effect. So somebody decides to attack me, let's say Shub-Niggurath, and a bunch of units attack Cthulhu. Well, before the combat starts, I count 3 units. For some reason, let's not think about the logic of it. I roll 3d6, and let's say I get 1 6. Well, there's nothing saying who dies, but somebody's going to have to die. So let's say the ghoul dies. All right. And then combat proceeds as normal. So there's nothing to force a particular person to die. The Haunter of the Dark is powerful. If you got 3 6s, then that's just it. If you thought you can win the battle because you had extra units, well, chances are extra units are actually going to hurt you because extra units is more dice. On the other hand, you probably want a couple units as scapegoats, and then you want very powerful units. So this is really a pretty good example. Shub-Niggurath, a fungi, and a ghoul. So the ghoul can take the hit. And then hopefully you kill the Haunter of the Dark, because otherwise the Haunter Dark is going to be just sweeping through, annihilating your things. I don't know, annihilating is fair, but it's pretty fair that the couple rounds that it existed for us, it definitely took out a few extra units that was I don't know, unfair, but it took out a couple extra units that was unexpected, right? You do the math and you think, okay, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose. But with Haunter of the Dark, they get these extra things, and then suddenly the battle shifts. So you thought you had an advantage, you lost some units, now you don't have an advantage anymore. If you're really unlucky, again, I think it happened once that they lost 2 of their 3 and they had a scapegoat unit. They didn't want to lose the second unit. And then I'm pretty sure they lost their Great Old One because it was just bad, because then it went to combat, but now in combat they had no units to soak up hits. It was just bad. So yeah, Haunter of the Dark, super cool, rightfully so, because again, this is a legit story that I think is good. I mean, like it or not, like Lovecraft stories, they're not always the best because back then they paid by the word. So I like the Haunter of the Dark a lot. I think it's very evocative. So that's me. All right, so that is the Masks of Nyarlathotep. I just want a little comment. I think that a lot of the units here are actually better for Yog-Sothoth. And I'm curious what you guys think, because Yog-Sothoth has a built-in gate. It has effectively an extra gate. Yog-Sothoth is not affected by the Shadow Pharaoh. I just think that if you look, they synergize very well with the Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'd like to know what you guys think. Post in the comments below, or wait for the contest rules. So let's talk about the contest. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing one of those social media Gleam.io contests, and you can win a copy of Cthulhu Wars. A good portion of my videos are about Cthulhu Wars. I love to support Cthulhu Wars in general. So that's it. Go down there, click the link, follow the instructions, follow things, subscribe things, retweet things, all those different ways to enter into the contest. And I'm going to pick one winner December 15th. And then I'm going to send out a copy of Cthulhu Wars. There is a second entry. I almost always try to do for these big ones. I always try to do a second way of winning prizes. And this is going to be more subjective. So Gleam.io, you just follow the rules and then it tells me who wins. Done. Great. The more subjective way, be creative. Who's going to win? Okay. Throughout this video, I've shown lots of screenshots or panning shots of this board. Which faction is going to win and why? You can be serious. You can list out the odds. You can do a turn-by-turn like battle listing. There's no right answers, by the way. There's no wrong answers, no right answers. This is entirely subjective. I will reply to the ones that I particularly like, and I will be 2 votes. And if Sandy replies to any of your comments, then that's 5 votes. I am going to weigh heavily people's likes of the posts. If somebody gets 3,000 likes, that's more than their subscribers on this channel, and I'll know they're faking. So if you're gonna cheat realistically, give yourself like 80 likes. But I'm not gonna base it entirely off of those. I'm mostly gonna use my subjectivity, amuse me, or entertain me, or teach me something, and you will win. What do you win? Well, in your comment, I'm going to give you between 3 and 6 Cthulhu Wars expansions. If you need Cthulhu Wars, post that with your answer. If you don't own a copy of Cthulhu Wars, that's fine. Post that in your answer. I'll give that to you instead. I would really prefer to give out Azathoth, Masks of Nyarlathotep. Basically, I'm going to give you as many as I can. Hopefully you'll get a big pile at your house of expansions. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, but it's going to be at least 3 expansions. Those expansions are going to be worth at least $100 US. So I think you'll be satisfied with what you're given because of stock and inventories and things. Plus the fact that if you already have Open or the Way, I don't want to send you Open or the Way necessarily. So just post what you want. You may still get Open or the Way, and I'm sure you'll find some use for it. But yeah, it's just gonna be kind of a grab bag of generally my favorite Cthulhu Wars expansions, flavored by what you ask for. So I'll try to be Santa Cthulhu and meet what you're requesting. So just comment below. I would really like the Ancients or Masks of Nyarlathotep, something like that. And I will see what I can do to make it happen. That's it. Let's go ahead and go to the comments. I really look forward to giving this out to you guys. I'm really happy. I mean, 2,000 subscribers. I didn't think that was going to ever happen. So super cool. All right. Funkoverse. Melissa V just got Tapestry, so we got to try it out. OMG, she loves it. She loves it. I love it so much. The day after that we played, I begged her to bring it again. And she really likes the asymmetric thing. So you realize that you just cost me $80, right? Because I just bought it. So I will be playing it tomorrow. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa has won 2 of the prizes. And she doesn't do any shenanigans or anything. She just enters. But there you go. So it cost me $80. I hope it's amazing. I'm sure it will be. It looks cool. I really love Stonemaier games. So that's cool. Is healing overpowered? So this guy, Moritz Hade, he was promoting a company called from the Gamescrafter.com. I'm not familiar with the Gamescrafter.com. This is a milestone award tiles for Terraforming Mars. This is all the awards, and you randomize which milestones and award tiles that come out on each game. It's actually like $15. I'm going to buy that as well. I might do a video for it. So thanks, Moritz Hade, helping me spend more money. I appreciate that. I'm sure it'd be awesome. It sounds cool. All right. Got some congrats on 2,000 subscribers from Dragon4201976. He has belief in the Funkoverse. I do too, actually. I think that they'll do something cool. I think that they are creative enough, and I think it'll be cool. He did comment on something I didn't mention in my video, which is that the board doesn't match the scenarios for the Joker side. I guess at SDCC, they had the original print of the Joker side of the board, but everybody else, we don't. I thought it was interesting. It confused me at first, and then I started playing the game and I just forgot about it. So thanks for calling it out. All right. Brian Fox congratulated on 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. That's it. That's a couple different congratulations on the 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate it, everybody. And I'm going to end there. So really appreciate everyone. I want to talk about international real quick. It seems like I have a lot of international viewers, and I definitely have had a variety of international winners. I think maybe about 1/5 of my winners have been international. This is my rule on international prizes. I will either pay half the shipping and you pay half the shipping, or if the shipping is normal, like sometimes I can buy you a Cthulhu Wars board game from the UK distributor of Cthulhu Wars, and then it's just normal. So I just pay for it, no problem. But if it's an unusual cost, I ask that you either pay half, or I will send you a gift card for the price of the game. So that way I'm not like saving money, but I also am not paying. I don't know, once it was double the price of the game to ship it. And I know Peterson Games knows the cost of shipping, but I'm not selling anything. This is just a contest. So I'm just trying not to go negative while trying to ship out something to some portion of the world that shipping is for some reason very difficult. But I will happily give you a gift card. So yeah, that's it. All right. Bye guys. Thank you.